You know, one of my favorite things about college football is that, in my opinion, you can never seem to know anything for sure. And today is a prime example of that. Because a top 10 player in all of high school football, David Hicks, was set to make his college announcement, and everything seemed to point towards the Oklahoma Sooners. However, in the end, it was Texas A&M that gets a massive win and a top 10 player added into their 2023 recruiting class. Today, we need to talk about why this is such a big win for Texas A&M, something Texas A&M is doing better than anybody, and everything in between. Before we can, as always, though, y'all know the drill. I need to hear from you. Hop down to the comments, give me a Y for yes or an N for no. Are you surprised that David Hicks lands at A&M? And let me know what you're thinking. If you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, hit that bell notification as I do constant college football content. You don't want to miss any of it. And if you enjoyed this content, be sure to like and comment down below, as those interactions are massive. But having said all that, let's hop right into this. And let's get one thing perfectly clear. A few weeks ago, we talked about the trouble in College Station after Texas A&M dropped the game to Appalachian State, but since that point, Texas A&M has came away with some wins, whether it be against Miami, whether it be against Arkansas, and now a massive win on the recruiting trail for the number 9 player overall in the class of 2023, David Hicks, the number 1 player in the state of Texas and the number 1 defensive lineman in the nation. We need to first and foremost talk about why this is such a big deal. First, it goes without saying that anytime you can get in a 5-star player of this caliber, or a 5-star player in general, into your recruiting class, it's a big deal, but especially when we look at what makes David Hicks different. First and foremost, he's going to win in a variety of different ways, whether that be with speed, strength, but he's also got some moves that are able to allow him to beat double teams or to just straight up beat one-on-ones. And the interesting thing is, when you turn on his film, he's utilized all over that defensive line. So the versatility he brings to the table is obviously intriguing, but you can see him beat tackles, guards, centers, wherever you're interested in watching him play. There's probably some snaps of him there and winning those reps. So this is a really big get for Texas A&M, especially when you consider that all indications were pointing towards the Oklahoma Sooners. If we looked at 24/7 Sports, 100% of the crystal ball predictions inserted were in favor of the Oklahoma Sooners. However, it's Texas A&M that gets the big victory in the waning hours. And one of the reasons this is so big is because David Hicks is right in your backyard. Look, you're never going to win all of the battles in your state, but you want to make sure you win the battles that you can't afford to lose. However, interestingly enough, that points me to the second thing we need to talk about. What Texas A&M is doing better than anybody in the nation right now, and that's recruiting the defensive line. Because for almost every other institution in the nation, if you have a 5-star defensive lineman that's the number 1 player in your state, that guy's a must get. And even in the event that Texas A&M didn't land Hicks, it would have been a miss, but a miss they could have actually afforded to take, because we need to break down how insane the Texas A&M defensive front recruiting has been. Obviously, in the class of 2023, they just added in a top 10 player overall, 5-star defensive lineman David Hicks. In the class of 2022, you had 5-star Walter Nolan, who was the number 1 defensive lineman in the nation and the number 2 player overall. In the same class, Shamar Stewart, another 5-star, coming in as the number 9 player overall and the number 3 defensive lineman. Labeus Overton, a 5-star individual, coming in as the number 14 player in the class of 2022 and ranked as the number 4 defensive lineman. In the class of 2022, once again, Gabriel Brownlow-Dindy, another 5-star who was the number 17 player in that class and the number 5 defensive lineman. And it wasn't just defensive linemen they were able to successfully land in 2022, because a top 10 edge rusher, Anai White, who is a 4-star athlete, the number 47 player overall, and the number 4 edge rusher, also landed in the class. Sticking in the class of 2022, as insane as that is, Anthony Lucas, a 4-star defensive lineman, number 59 overall in the nation and the number 10 defensive lineman. In the class of 2021, 5-star defensive lineman Shamar Stewart, who was the number 22 player overall and the number 6 defensive lineman in that class. Tunmise Adelaye was a 4-star defensive lineman in the class of 2021, the number 39 player overall and the number 7 defensive lineman. Marcus Burris, 4-star defensive lineman, number 132 overall. Then you have on the edge Elijah Judy, 4-star, number 206 overall. Once again on the edge, Jazion Harris, 4-star, number 208 overall. That's 12 top 300 guys since 2021. Remember, Those 2021 guys are sophomores. The 2022 guys are freshmen, and the 2023, those are seniors in high school. Something else that's insane about this is of those 12 individuals, Elijah Robinson accounts for 7 of those for Texas A&M. Absolutely insane recruiting production, and once again today, he goes out and adds another 5-star. I can't think off the top of my head of an institution that's had any better defensive line classes than Texas A&M, and in that 2022 class, I've been on the record saying I think that's the best defensive line class I've ever seen. If you can think of a better one, by all means, please drop it down in the comments. I'd love to learn more, but off the top of my head, I can't think of one, and what's more insane is that they have all of this depth. And even then, with all of this depth there, and remember, we just talked about 2021 and 2022. Those 2021 guys, they're just sophomores. 2022 guys, they're just freshmen. Even though there's all that depth, you still get a guy like David Hicks willing to go to Texas A&M and contribute, or at least attempt to contribute amongst all of these guys. Naturally, whenever you recruit this much talent, the question that everybody's going to ask is, how are you going to be able to retain it all? In fairness, whenever you accumulate this much talent on the defensive front in such a short period of time, that's a fair question to ask. However, it's going to be interesting to see what the answer will be in the future. I can't wait to hear from all of you because Texas A&M really pulled a rabbit out the hat on this one. Good for Jimbo Fisher, good for the Aggies. I can't wait to hear from y'all. Hop down in the comments, let me know what you're thinking. That's it. See ya.